On the heels of an enormously successful debut on Netflix last Monday night, WWE returned to the streaming giant for tonight's episode of Raw, headlined by the coronation of the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion. Damage Control's Dakota Kai squared off with Lyra Valkyria in the tournament final to decide the first champion in the night's marquee match, while Damian Priest and Finn Balor sought to settle their differences in a street fight. Who emerged from the battle of former tag team champions victoriously? Which woman forever etched her name in the history books? And what did CM Punk and Rhea Ripley have to say following high-stakes victories on last week's show? Find out now with this latest recap, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Hey there, welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and streaming.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher and the phenom Michael Bullock. And nothing more to say, you know how we do it. The second episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix from the SAP Center, the Shark Tank in San Jose, California. We're going to get into this tonight. And then as soon as we're done here, special Tony's Take where I will be setting the table for this Sunday's TNA Genesis pay-per-view. We started it off with an in-ring segment. On the heels of a main event victory over Seth freaking Rollins in one of the most anticipated matches in recent memory last Monday night, CM Punk kicked off the second episode of Raw on Netflix. The straight-edge superstar wasted little time getting down to business. But before he did that, he took a moment to acknowledge, of course, the continuing devastation of the wildfires in California. Class moment on his end. Any of us would have done the exact same thing, no doubt about that. Straight Edge Superstar wasted little time getting down to business. He is joining John Cena in throwing his name in the hat for the Royal Rumble. Seth freaking Rollins interrupted and revealed that he also is entering the Royal Rumble and would end his foe's WrestleMania dreams by throwing him over the top rope. Drew McIntyre interrupted next and took exception to both Punk and Rollins, calling them self-serving mirror images of each other. He called the visionary a fake leader. Punk cut him off and challenged both men to throw fists, only for Drew McIntyre to announce his entry in the Royal Rumble. This was a star-studded start to the show that shined a light on the Royal Rumble with the introduction of three former world champions, but also hinted at the larger story at play, the return to power of Roman Reigns, as hinted at by Drew McIntyre. It will be interesting to see if this story, like so many others in the Paul Levesque era, ultimately collide with the larger Bloodline story, because as it stands, that appears to be the end game for at least McIntyre. CM Punk said, I acknowledge all of the firefighters in the great state of California. He said before giving props to the firefighters in Canada and Mexico who have also traveled to help fight the deadly wildfires in Los Angeles. Punk said one of those things no longer on my plate is Seth Rollins. John Cena, I see you, and I always have, my friend. It's always someone I don't want it to be. Why can't it be a Rhea Ripley? Why can't it be a Rhea Ripley interrupting me? And then Rollins said, I'd rather be the worst version of myself than any version of you. Excellent start to the show here tonight. And look at this Royal Rumble, guys. Look at this Royal Rumble. I mean, we're talking levels like 1992. Levels like 2001, even. I mean, look at the names that are in this thing already. LA Knight, John Cena, CM Punk, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Seth freaking Rollins, and Drew McIntyre. Yow. That is worth that alone is worth the price of admission. There is no doubt about that. So, excellent jump off to this show here tonight. MF, good old MF Michael Fletcher. Whoa. look at that Royal Rumble field already. This is starting to have the feel of 1992, maybe 2001 even. Look at all these big names.
The really good thing about this is that this is just we're just scratching the surface on the 30. Like right there, you already reeled off about 8 to 9 names going into the Royal Rumble match. And we still got a few weeks away. Like, remember, this year's Royal Rumble is on February 1. So we still have a few weeks to fill out the names for this Royal Rumble. This has the makings of being the greatest Royal Rumble ever. No doubt about it. Yes, you can say 1992. You can say 2001. This is easily starting to feel like the deepest field we've ever had for a Royal Rumble match. And Anthony, you've alluded. We were saying right now that there was 3 possible winners out of the Royal Rumble match. CM Punk, John Cena, Roman Reigns. You could make an argument that Seth Rollins could win the Royal Rumble now because of, what he did. You could make an argument that maybe Drew McIntyre could win the Royal Rumble now because of what he's been going through. And I know a lot of people, even though he's a dark horse, you got to keep a close eye on main event Jey Uso. Uso's been one of the most popular guys in WWE for the last few months, maybe the last year. Especially with the Yeet dance, the Yeet movement, whatever you want to call it. Could they throw a curve? Maybe give Jey Uso the moment and have him win the Rumble? You never know. Yes, you got the big 3, which is Cena, Roman, and Punk. But behind them 3, there's some good guys in that list. At least those 4, the 3 I just talked about, Seth friggin' Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and main event Jey Uso, that's probably the next crop that if the big 3 fall, you can start looking at these guys as maybe the next that could win that Royal Rumble match. So I got nothing else to say. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this is close to being, like you said, that star-studded field that we saw from 92, maybe 2001. And yeah, I mean, and we're just getting started. I mean, who knows who else might declare their entrance. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, yeah, like you said, with CM Punk being in there now, Seth freaking Rollins, Drew McIntyre, John Cena, Roman Reigns. Man, this is definitely looking like a really good field. So yeah, definitely a great way to start off this edition of Raw on Netflix. So nothing more to say. Florio, this is where we start off the matches portion with anticipation.
High anticipation. We all remember General Manager Adam Pearce. There was that moment during last week's show where Chad Gable said, "Find me the best luchador." And Adam Pearce is like, you will fight the best luchador next week. And well, Chad Gable, as the old saying goes, be careful what you wish for. Because, it's not that you just may get it, it's that you did get it. The mystery opponent, to the surprise of none of us, Penta El Zero Miedo. And to the surprise of none of us, even though it was an incredible back and forth match, winner of the match, 13 minutes, 27 seconds, Penta El Zero Miedo. And oh, by the way, he broke the arm. He did the arm thing. Oh, he did the arm bending. Oh gosh.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, well,
He calls it the sacrifice, and yes, Chad Gable, you sacrificed the limb tonight, my friend.
that's why Bullock and I said during our Raw chat last week. We said it. We very simply
We
said
were like,
it.
Chad Gable, you better protect your damn arm because you know Penta's gonna break it.
Watch your arms, boy. Watch your arms. And
Yep.
oh, Penta wins 13 minutes, 27 seconds. MF, wow, what a debut.
It was a good match, a solid fight. It was exactly what it needed it to be for a debut. I think it was, you got to see, if you've never seen Penta El Zero Miedo ever in, you know what, and I love that I love that Michael Cole referenced Lucha Underground, AAA, TNA. The most thing that he didn't mention was that said company that is owned by McMahon 2.0 in Jacksonville, Florida. He didn't mention that, which is smart, good. I don't think none of us is gonna cry foul on that anyway. But what they did, and I even love Michael Cole, the worst kept secret has now been revealed. Yeah, we all knew it was going to be Penta. We knew it from the vignettes. We knew it from just everything that they set it up. And then today, this morning, they put the merch of Penta on WWEshop.com. So the whole world knew Penta's going to debut tonight. Like, it was WWE, you gotta do better on the surprises, bro. Hunter, that's not you, bro. Normally you don't make that mistake. Normally you're on the ball. You pull rugs out from under us, and we're like, and we get shocked. We get like nobody saw Punk coming at Survivor Series. That was, you literally pulled the rug out from under us, and we went bonkers. This time we knew it was coming. We had a feeling it was going to happen. You kind of probably is like, I'm not going to insult the intelligence of the WWE universe. Everybody knows who it probably is going to be. So let's just roll them out and just let them have, and let's give us that moment. I loved it. Penta is exactly what he needed it to be. We got to see what we needed it to get. It was a very good match. Yes, they did a little different finisher. The Penta driver looks really nice because everybody knows what his original finish is, and that is the package pile driver. Oh, by the way, illegal move. You're not allowed to do that. At least in WWE, you're not allowed to do that move because that's a head and the neck thing, and they kind of fear somebody getting hurt when somebody does the move. But Kevin Owens has broken that rule not once but twice on us, where he did that package pile driver. Once on Cody Rhodes, even though the show went off the air at Saturday night's main event, he dropped him on his head. And yeah, we all got pissed at that. So yeah, at the end of the day, great debut, 3 to 3.5 stars. Penta El Zero Miedo, welcome to the big show, man. The crowd was hot. Everything, the match was actually really damn good. And one of the most poignant moments in that match or of the night was Penta standing there, his daughter at ringside, and you see the tears in her eyes. You saw the emotion of seeing her dad in the ring. I can't imagine what must have been going through Penta's mind, seeing his daughter with that emotion in a WWE ring. It is It's a moment you'll never forget. That's a moment that you can take wrestling out of this. This was humanized. This was beautiful. You don't get this kind of shit from unless you love professional wrestling. This is one of those type of moments. Unless you know it or felt it or been in the business, it's one of those. I don't think there's nothing for me to say. I apologize for the language. Michael Bullock, it's yours, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this 3.5 stars. I mean, this was everything that it was meant to be. I mean, yeah, I mean, for those of you seeing Penta for the first time, boy, you guys got something really, really good with this. And yeah, I mean, I mean, the outcome was never in doubt, but it was just, it was a and really good entertaining match that we got here. And Penta, you could just see the emotion, and of course, especially with his family. I mean, seeing him in action in WWE, and yeah, and just think. I mean, just think of the names, guys, that he could possibly go up against in WWE. I mean, maybe they could run it back, maybe with Rey Mysterio. I mean, and Fletch knows a lot about that when they met in Lucha Underground, and also a lot of other names that come to my mind that he could possibly face someday in WWE. I mean, Dominic Mysterio, that's another one. I mean, we all know Dum Dum with his saying that, quote unquote, he's the greatest luchador of all time. I think Penta would beg to differ on that. How about Finn Balor, Jey Uso? I mean, so many names I would love to see Penta feud with somewhere down the line. So we'll see what happens here. So 3.5 stars is my rating on the match. It is yours, Florio.
3.5 to 3.75 of a star. Heck, you can make an argument for 4 if you really wanted to. What ensued was a fantastic match between two veteran competitors. This was a great introduction to Penta, who looked like a huge acquisition for WWE and a legitimate main event star. It was yet another reminder of Chad Gable's excellence, as his in-ring work is nearly second to none. A strong match and a successful debut. This was an easy thumbs up. The presentation of Penta is already top tier. He looks and feels like a main event talent. Early nerves led to an ugly spot or two, but Penta recovered nicely. Pat McAfee said on commentary it was too big of a signing to keep secret. Great selling by Penta of his heavily damaged leg. And Pat McAfee also exclaimed, "A Mexican destroyer here in San Jose." So 3.5 to 4 stars. You could certainly make an argument for Fight of the Night honors if you really wanted to. It was that good. Speaking of it, Sheamus squaring off against Ludwig Kaiser in our next match. And it was Sheamus winning the match, 8 minutes and 47 seconds. Michael Bullock, it was Fight Night, baby, as Sheamus defeats Ludwig Kaiser. After the match was over, Sheamus and Braun Breaker had what I like to call a fine how do you do after it was over. And gentlemen, Braun Breaker will defend the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship one-on-one with Sheamus Saturday night's main event.
Yep, that's one of our first match that was signed up for Saturday night's main event. I mean, all I can say is I cannot wait for this one. I'll give this in excess of maybe somewhere between 2.5 to 3. I mean, I thought for sure that this was going to be. I thought this would go a little longer, if I'm going to be quite honest here, but it was still a good match, no doubt about it. So, yeah, a huge opportunity for Sheamus, another chance for him to finally win a title that's been eluding him, and that is the Intercontinental Championship. So, and of course, it was good to hear Pat McAfee say that 5-9 baby. God, I missed that. So, 2.5 to 3. It's yours, Florio.
2.5 to 3. Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser have developed one of the hardest hitting, most intensely competitive rivalries in WWE since their first one-on-one meeting in June of 2024. Tonight, they introduced their feud to the Netflix audience with another punishing battle. Their bodies beaten and battered, reddened from welts and bruising already. They beat each other down with strike-heavy offense. And what else is there to say on that? At ringside, Sheamus celebrated with Pat McAfee before coming face-to-face with the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Braun Breaker. Pull-apart confrontation ensued. And we all know what's going to happen next in just a moment. Another strong match between two of the workhorses on the Raw brand. This was a great introduction to their rivalry and the second high-quality bout in a row, which seems like a statement to the fans who criticized the lack of in-ring action last week. And Michael Cole has been extraordinary in commentary, telling the viewing audience who the superstars are and their ongoing issues with their peers. It's a thankless but absolutely essential gig and one he has perfected. So I don't know what else there is to say on this. This is within that 2.5 to 3 star threshold. Michael Bullock is right on that. So not much more to say on that. MF, Sheamus defeating Ludwig Kaiser in 847, and now he gets yet another opportunity at the one title that has eluded him. He gets Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, Saturday night's main event in San Antonio.
You kind of feel like if Sheamus doesn't get this opportunity or doesn't win this title, when is he ever going to win the belt? That becomes the concern. But I will say this. I'm so glad he's getting another shot at this goal. I'm so glad he's getting another opportunity, man, because damn it to hell, this brother deserves it. So yeah, this is gonna be a hell of a fight. This is gonna be a great matchup, and I'm so happy he's finally getting a shot at the belt. So really nothing more to say. 3 to 3.5 stars. Hell of a match. And yeah, Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Yeah. Let's see what's next on the docket here. Need a minute here. All right. Now there was a backstage moment here. Karrion Kross and The Miz, and Karrion Kross was informed that the Wyatt Six have been moved to SmackDown. OMF. Oh, you got the
What?
Wyatt Six coming.
Uh-oh.
There's
Yeah.
going to be
Wyatt
trouble brewing
Six
on
is coming to
SmackDown.
SmackDown?
That's what I'm hearing. That's what Karrion Kross said.
Yikes.
Oh no. Oh
yeah.
no, Nick. Okay, this just got interesting. How's that gonna play out? Huh.
Yeah, how is it going to play out? That's the big news. And then Sami Zayn walked in and they exchanged some words. So we have another match added to our card for tonight. Sami Zayn squaring off against The Miz. So All right. Gunther, the world heavyweight champion, Gunther. He comes out next. He comes out for an in-ring segment of his own. Yeah, Gunther made his way to the ring for an in-ring promo. Before he could say much of substance, main event Jey Uso interrupted and issued a challenge to the Ring General for a World Heavyweight Championship match at Saturday night's main event on January 25th in San Antonio. After some typical condescending from Gunther, Jey Uso delivered a response in which he said he bets on himself every day and he is taking the world title. This was another strong effort on the mic from Jey Uso as he told the story of a single star, second guessed by the doubters, but always proving them wrong. On January 25th, he will have the chance to silence the doubters by capturing the top prize on Raw by beating one of the best and most respected wrestlers of this generation. That he just interrupted Gunther and staked his claim to a title match with no real build or explanation as to why that is okay when 30 different superstars are preparing to compete in the Royal Rumble for the same opportunity. Very interesting there. Gunther said of last week's Netflix debut, when it came to the performance in the ring, I was less impressed, echoing a portion of the audience who decreed the lack of wrestling despite the extraordinary production values and overall presentation. Gunther warned Jey, I know what you're capable of. It's a whole lot less than what I'm capable of. And then Gunther also said, I will expose you for what you really are. A really, really talented tag team wrestler. To you, main event is a nickname. To me, it is where I belong. And then Jey Uso, putting an exclamation point on his promo, said, and I quote, on Saturday night's main event, you're going to respect me when I beat that ass and become World Heavyweight Champion. Another great segment here. And now it gives us another big time match for Saturday night's main event. Now, I mean, we already have what's going to be a guaranteed be a man fight with Braun Breaker and Sheamus for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, and now we're going to get Gunther and main event Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship, both on Saturday night's main event. Man, Papa H is cooking, boys, and when he cooks, we all eat. Oh, and we are going to feast come Saturday night's main event, come the Royal Rumble even. So another very good segment here. Great promos from both men. So not much more to say. MF, great promo here. And now Gunther versus Jey Uso for the heavyweight championship of the world on Saturday night's main event. In addition to Braun Breaker and Sheamus for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Whoa.
Yeah, they're setting up pretty nicely for this fight card. I'll say that, y'all. At the end of the day, I thought they did a really good job. I thought it was a solid way to get a few things, and yeah. But here's the thing. Remember what I said about Jey Uso and how popular he's been and the whole 9 yards. But if you notice, on the promotional poster for this upcoming Saturday night's main event, Jey Uso was on the cover. So I think that's why a lot of people kind of put two and two together. They knew Jey was going to get a prominent spot, but nobody thought he was going to get a spot for the heavyweight championship of the world. That's going to be very interesting to watch. Now the thing is, there's been some critics for Gunther's reign. A lot of people's like, well, it's not been as memorable as when he was the Intercontinental Champion. And some people are still pointing at that match at Crown Jewel that maybe the reign may have gone stale after he lost to Cody Rhodes, that match kind of hurt Gunther in a way. So maybe we get a shocker. Maybe we get, I don't know, an unprecedented crowning, a history being made moment at Saturday night's main event. Shake up the road to WrestleMania with main event Jey Uso as the heavyweight champion of the world.
Dude, if that happens, get ready for the biggest yeet fest of all time.
Yes, I know.
You thought it was big when Jey Uso won the Intercontinental belt in September when he beat Braun Breaker?
Yep.
Honey, child, no. No, honey. It's going to be even bigger. It's going to be the mother of all yeet fests. And Bullock will be leading the way. Trust me when I tell you.
Oh, I know. So I just put it out there. I'm just putting it out in the ether for the internet to know. Yeah, don't be shocked if we get this, even though I think Gunther's the favorite going in. But, like I said, since that match with Cody, you kind of feel like maybe they need something different, something new. Why not? I mean, we've had shockers along the way on the road to WrestleMania before. I don't think we've ever had a shocker this early in the year, but I would be down with it. New champion, Jey Uso? Why not? Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this was a really good promo. I mean, yeah, this is a chance for Jey Uso to basically show why he is worthy of not just being able to challenge Gunther for the title, but why he's worthy of winning that title. So, and like you said, with all the promotional that he's been part, especially for that Saturday night's main event. I mean, could they really do it? Could they really crown him as the new champion? It's possible, but we'll wait and see. So, good promo here. So there's really nothing more to say. It's yours for you.
Speaking of history, gentlemen, we're about to make history right now. The finals of the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament. Lyra Valkyria squaring off against Dakota Kai. And the winner of the match, 8 minutes and 31 seconds. And the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion is Lyra Valkyria. Lyra wins the title, 8.5 minutes, 8 minutes and 31 seconds. MF, we've crowned the new champion. Hit us with those magic words, Monsoon.
Yes, indeed. History has been made, unprecedented crowning, and more importantly, Lyra makes history. We talked about her coming out like a house of fire when she first debuted on the main roster after a really great run as the NXT Women's Champion. And then it kind of cooled. She got taken out in the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament by Nia Jax. Nia eventually going on to win the Queen of the Ring and then actually parlaying that into a pretty good run as the WWE Women's Champion, if you remember that, guys. And now with Lyra, it's kind of the jump start, a reset for Lyra Valkyria, who basically had a very hot start, cooled off after the Queen of the Ring, and kind of lost her way along this path. She kind of lost her way until the Intercontinental Championship Tournament was announced for the women. And that was the moment we saw basically the Raven rising from the ashes. she basically regained that momentum, and the next thing you know, now she's on top of the mountain, the Intercontinental Champion of the women's division on Monday Night Raw. And man, buckle up for the Valkyrie, because this is gonna be a wild ride she's about to take us on, man. But there's one spot in the match where I absolutely cringed, and I really am wondering how both girls are feeling. That suplex on the outside of the ring.
Yes.
Dear Lord.
Oh,
Are you
Bullock and I
kidding
cringed
me?
during our chat tonight. Oh, yeah. Yeah, me and Bullock, man, we cringed during that thing. Oh, boy.
Dude, I could hear Anthony Florio saying, "Oh my God," not Joey Styles, but I could even hear like Anthony Florio like, "No, no," seeing both women go down like that, because I would have been like, "Oh my heavens!" But yeah, so Lyra wins it. Congratulations, and yeah, nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, it's yours. 3.5 stars.
Bullock, are you there? Okay.
Yeah. What did you give it?
3 to 3.5 stars.
Yeah. I'll give it about I'll give it about 3. I mean, this was a solid match, and yeah, congratulations to Lyra Valkyria, the first ever women's Intercontinental Champion. I mean, Dakota definitely gave her all she could handle, but in the end, I think this was the right outcome. And you said it, Fletch. I mean, they had a chance to put the Queen of the Ring on her, but instead gave it to Nia Jax, and we all thought that maybe this was a mistake. But
And it
Nia,
ended up actually doing Nia wonders. She actually had a pretty
yeah,
good run.
exactly. I was just about to say that, but there was a little part of me that was a little worried about Lyra, that she was going to get lost in the shuffle, and she was for a little while until, like you said, the Intercontinental Championship tournament, and it seems like she's been found again. So hopefully she will have a really good run with this title. So 3 stars for me. It's yours, Florio.
More like 2.5 to 3, if I'm going to be honest. A hard-hitting matchup between two of the great NXT exports of the last 5 years. This was another example of two competitors going to the ring and delivering between the ropes. It was more physical than anyone could have imagined and highlighted the skills of both women. Lyra Valkyria, after falling short of winning the Queen of the Ring tournament last year, makes the most of her second opportunity in that setting, capturing her first main roster title and adding her name to the history books. Given her ring work to this point, it should be fun watching her defend it against the talented individuals on the Red brand moving forward. As for Dakota Kai, she proved more than enough in this tournament that she should be featured between the ropes more frequently than she is. This feels like the beginning of a singles run more than anything else. Valkyria, like MF said, Valkyria delivering a jaw-dropping vertical suplex off the apron into the arena floor, generating warranted and uncensored chants of holy bleep. Valkyria's sit-out powerbomb, one of the best in the business, and Dakota Kai delivering the GTK only for it to knock Valkyria out of the ring and prevent a pinfall was a great false hope spot. 2.5 to 3. Congratulations, Lyra Valkyria. You guys know how high I've been on this young lady since her NXT days, and very deserving. Not to say Dakota Kai was not deserving either. I mean, I would have been happy with her winning too, but in all honesty, Lyra needed it more, especially after she came in. When she got drafted to Raw, she came in like a house of fire. I thought she was on her way, and then she really cooled off for a while. But now she's heating back up at the right time. And now the biggest win of her main roster career. Even though her winning the NXT Women's Championship will forever be the biggest win of her career because of who she beat to win it. She beat the man Becky Lynch for that title. No disrespect to Dakota, absolutely none. But this, I got to consider this the second biggest win of Lyra's career, but a great moment for her. She is going to be a great representative as the first ever women's Intercontinental Champion, and I, for one, couldn't be any happier for her. Well deserved. 2.5 to 3. So we move on, and we have our first cutout of the Netflix era. Sami Zayn squaring off against The Miz. Sami Zayn wins the match, 4 minutes and 6 seconds. That's cutout territory, honestly. It was what it was. It was an excuse to get both guys on the show and in the ring, with Sami earning what amounted to a nice enhancement victory. And Sami Zayn actually won the match with the Blue Thunder Bomb. How about that? Michael Cole exclaimed excitedly, Sami Zayn just got a win with the Blue Thunder Bomb, recognizing how rare it is for the former Intercontinental Champion to win with what is traditionally one of his setup moves. Worst fight of the night here, no doubt about it. This was a 1.5 to 2 star match, so we're not going to waste any time on that. We're going to bypass that. Rhea Ripley, the new Women's World Champion. New Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley made her way to the ring and addressed the WWE Universe, reminding them that Mommy is back on top as one of the most dominant women in company history. But before she could say much more, Nia Jax interrupted and vowed and became the first woman, believe it or not, the first woman to declare for the Women's Royal Rumble match. And she vowed to win the Women's Royal Rumble. She repeatedly insulted Bayley, who was also there. And then Bayley entered the ring and insisted Nia to say whatever she had to say to her face. Nia attacked her, then headbutted Rhea, only to catch a big knee from Bayley. And then Rhea sent Nia out of the ring before Rhea Ripley and Bayley stood tall to close the segment out. It was fine, but nowhere near as effective as the night's opening promo segment. If anything, the biggest takeaway was not the teased Nia Jax move to Raw, but instead Bayley subtly eyeing Rhea Ripley's Women's World title. It feels rather unlikely that WWE would run with Bayley versus Rhea at WrestleMania, but Bayley is one of the original four horsewomen of NXT that Rhea Ripley has not defeated at the Showcase of the Immortals. So that story writes itself if the creative team opts to head in that direction. Rhea Ripley is getting those rare main event level pops, typically reserved for the likes of Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, or in generations past, the likes of John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Rock. Part of that is the electric theme. Part of it is the presentation. And the rest is her undeniable popularity within the WWE universe. And I know we're all in agreement when I say this. Rhea Ripley is a star and has worked for all of it. And Bayley called out Jax for reusing the BBL Bayley nickname. It still works. Jax said exactly the point that Babyface was making. So we don't really need to get into this unless you guys want to, but I'm guessing you probably don't. But the
only thing that's worth noting here is that Nia is the first one to declare for the Women's Royal Rumble. I think that's kind of more or less the most important thing. But remember, we only just scratched the surface on who could be in the Women's Rumble. So there are rumors about Charlotte Flair. There's rumors about Becky Lynch. There's even rumors I heard that maybe Alexa Bliss shows up in this Royal Rumble. So we talk about the star-studdedness of the men. We might have some powerhouses coming for the women that could maybe rival some of the other women Rumble matches that we had. We might be on the verge of possibly seeing the greatest women's Royal Rumble ever. Because remember, not only are we looking at Raw, SmackDown, NXT, but we know Jordynne Grace is going to be in it because there's rumors that Jordynne Grace could be in it. Is there a possibility that maybe another TNA star shows up? Don't know. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, a certain individual from TNA who will be competing in the biggest match of his career this upcoming Sunday night, which I will address in my special Tony's Take in just a short. So I know exactly who you're referring to with MF. Absolutely. Main event of the evening. Street fight. Damian Priest squaring off against Finn Balor. Damian Priest wins the match. 17 minutes, 13 seconds. I want to say this goes to Michael Bullock here. So Bullock, Damian Priest defeating Finn Balor in the street fight. 17 minutes and 13 seconds.
Yeah, this was a very good match, to say the very least. What did you give it, Florio?
You're leaning off. I haven't given it a rating.
I'm leaning off. All right, never mind. Yeah, I'm going to give this about maybe... I'll give this 4 and a quarter, and I say by that much, this was the fight of the night here. I mean, it was everything what it was. I mean, they battled throughout the arena. They used tables. They used chairs. They used whatever they could find. And, yeah, I mean, yeah, Damian Priest gets the win. Finally ends the feud with his rival. So who knows what's next for Damian? So it's yours, Florio.
The months-long battle for dominance between former Judgment Day teammates and tag team champions Damian Priest and Finn Balor wrote its latest chapter when they squared off in a street fight in the main event of tonight's show. This was by far the best of the Priest-Balor series and should conceivably end the long-running rivalry between the two. There were a handful of great spots here, and while the stretcher spot felt drawn out, everything after it was awesome. The crowd was hot, the athletes delivered on the gimmick, and Damian Priest scored the win to put that rivalry in his rearview mirror. Balor attacked Priest from behind with a kendo stick, seizing control early to the dismay of the fans. Pat McAfee comparing Dominic Mysterio to a trash can with a nice touch, given his consistent disdain for Dum Dum on commentary. Damian Priest delivered an enormous broken arrow from the stands to a pair of tables down below, a la his infamous spot with Bad Bunny in that San Juan street fight at Backlash 2023. And then Priest told Balor before picking him up for the South of Heaven chokeslam for the win, "I am not my brother's keeper." Epic stuff. 4 to 4 and a quarter stars. Fight of the night. Although you could definitely make an argument for that Penta and Chad Gable match as well, but 4 to 4 and a quarter stars. Hopefully this puts an end to this rivalry once and for all. I think it's dragged out long enough. So not much more to say. MF, your thoughts on the street fight? Damian Priest wins it in 17-13.
Hell of a main event, no doubt about it. You said it best. That this was exactly where it needed it to be. Really nothing more to add. 3 to 3.5 stars. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, boys, it's time for the overall review. Four excellent Four excellent matches highlighted in an episode of Raw that will undoubtedly make the critics of last week's Wrestling Light broadcast happy. A first-time champion was crowned. We had plenty of Royal Rumble hype. Penta made an unforgettable debut, and the rivalry between Damian Priest and the Judgment Day appears to have finally reached its conclusion. This was a fantastic show, and one that proved the extent to which WWE can mix professional wrestling and storytelling to great results. I mean, 4 excellent matches. We only had one bad match and one in the middle kind of segment here. So based on all of this, I got to give this show in excess of 8 to 8.5 out of 10. Very good show here tonight. So MF, as you know, last week, a lot of people were very critical of the premiere last week. After what we saw tonight, I think that criticism has been put to bed tonight.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you noticed, normally Monday Night Raw, they give you a runtime of 3 hours. That's the limit. That's how much they were predicting. We got this done in 2.5. We were out of here by 10:30. That was an eye-opener for us. Because we're thinking 2.5 hours for Monday Night Raw? Interesting. But I'll say this. Is anybody going to complain? Absolutely not. Because they gave us the limit. They gave us good stuff. The action was fine. I thought they did a very good job with everything that went down on this Monday Night Raw. So there's no complaints over the veracity, the body of work, everything that they did. So this is going to be an eye-opener because I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, wait a minute. But this is the difference between network television, cable television, and a streaming service. When you're streaming, anything goes. They even said it. It could be short. It could be long. We could do an all-nighter, or we could have something in less than an hour. You don't know. And Monday Night Raw even said, whatever we do with the thing, we're just gonna go and run with it. You saw it was very flushed. It wasn't like they gave a lot of things to breathe. It wasn't like, oh, we got so much we got to throw in one spot that we got to. No. This time, this was more a traditional Raw. So they let it breathe. They gave us ample time. We didn't have to worry about it. There was nothing that made us freak out. We're like, oh, what the hell? No. This was a good show. Solid 8 out of 10. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Bullock? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this. What did you give it?
8 to 8.5.
Yeah, this was about another 8.5 for me as well. So, yeah, nothing more to say. So let's get to your Tony's take.
Special Tony's take tonight. Tonight we are going to preview the TNA's first pay-per-view event of 2025 that will take place this Sunday night. It is Genesis, the 13th event under the Genesis chronology and the first to be held since 2021. Genesis will take place will be live this Sunday night from the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland, Texas, exclusively on pay-per-view, also on Triller and some other platforms. And there are only 7 matches have been announced for this card, but I reckon they're going to add more to this card come Thursday night on Impact, on TNA Impact, on Access TV and the TNA Plus app. So I told you this show top to bottom is a very stacked card. Maybe and we're also going to be bringing back a match from the early days that was a staple in the early days of TNA wrestling. And this is a match that MF knows very well. And when he hears this, I know he's going to have a bit to say about it. So I'll let you know when that match is. So here we go. We're going to go top to bottom here. First up, for the TNA X Division Championship, the champion, Moose, will be defending the title against the challenger and former multi-time X Division champion in his own right, the inevitable Ace Austin. Oh, man. I got to be honest. This is a tough one to call. It really is. I mean, my gut is telling me to go with Moose to retain, but my heart is telling me to go with Ace Austin to win the title here, especially as a fitting tribute to his tag team partner, Chris Bay, who suffered that gruesome injury late last year. So, tough to call, honestly. For right now, I got to go with Moose to retain, but I would not at all be surprised if Ace were to somehow shock the world and win the title here. Knockouts Tag Team Championships on the line. The champions, Spitfire, Jody Threat, and Danny Luna, will defend the titles against Ash and Heather by Elegance. If I'm going to be honest with you, I think Ash is due for a title here. I'm going to call for new champions. I think Ash and Heather by Elegance, by nefarious means, I'm sure they're going to find a way. But regardless, I think Ash is long overdue for a title. I think Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance are going to walk out as the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Josh Alexander one-on-one with Mike Santana. I got to go with Mike Santana. Santana's on a roll right now. I would not be surprised if Josh were to win this match. I wouldn't. But I got this feeling that Mike Santana is going to continue his hot streak and continue to be a dark horse in 2025 to do some big things. I wouldn't be surprised if sometime this year Mike Santana becomes the world heavyweight champion. I mean, he's that close. And I think he takes another step closer to that. So I'm going to go with Mike Santana to win this match. Jordynne Grace, one-on-one with Tessa Blanchard. There's no doubt about this one. Tessa Blanchard's going to go over here. I mean, we all know the story. Jordynne Grace is on her way out of TNA. And it's obviously been reported that TNA is asking Jordynne Grace to put over Tessa Blanchard before Jordynne leaves. Because it's clear as day, Jordynne Grace is on her way to the WWE. And she could debut in WWE as early as the Women's Royal Rumble match at the Royal Rumble on February the 1st. So easiest out of all the matches, this is the easiest one to call right here. Tessa Blanchard over Jordynne Grace. TNA World Tag Team Championship match. Classic definition of old school versus new school here. The reigning champions representing the old school. That, of course, Matt and Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys, the Hardys, defending the titles against the new school, the Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. Man, this is going to be a fun match. Another gut and heart situation here. My gut is telling me to go with the Hardys to retain, but my heart is telling me to go with the Rascals here. I'm going to take a chance here. I'm going to say the Rascals surprise here. I'm going to say the Rascals win the titles here. But would I be surprised if the Hardys were to retain? No, I absolutely would not. So I'm going with the Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, to become the new TNA World Tag Team Champions. All right. Now, remember I said that there was a match that was going to serve as somewhat of a throwback to the early days of TNA, like the Asylum days. MF, I know you know this match, so get ready for this. Knockouts Championship on the line. The champion, Masha Slamovich, will be defending the title against Rosemary in a Clockwork Orange House of Fun match.
Oh my God, that goes way back. We're talking the days of Raven.
Yup.
For this one,
What about it?
all right. Clockwork Orange House of Fun is basically anything goes. It is violence personified, and it's going to be bad. I don't even know how they're gonna do this under this new TNA format, but there will be weapons galore, basically littering the ring ropes, and basically it's pinfall or submission ends the fight. Like I said, this match is not going down since literally the days of when Raven was in TNA.
Wow. Well, I cannot wait to see it. I mean, regardless, though, there's no question about this outcome. Masha Slamovich. Masha will successfully defend and retain the TNA Knockouts Championship. Main event of the evening, TNA World Heavyweight Championship. The champion, the wanted man, Nick Nemeth, defending the title against Joe Hendry. Oh my God. You guys know how badly I want to see Joe Hendry get this. I mean, MF knows it. And of course, Michael Bullock wants to see this just as badly as I do. But as we all know, the last couple of times that he's had this opportunity, unfortunately, he came up short both times. Last July, it was Slammiversary, that 6-man elimination match when Josh Alexander turned heel and Josh Alexander screwed Joe Hendry out of the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And that's the night Nick Nemeth won the title, and he's been the champion since. And then, of course, in October at Bound for Glory, Joe Hendry got another shot by defeating Josh Alexander in the number 1 contenders match at the Victory Road TNA Plus special back in September. And that leads us to, and then of course, and then at Bound for Glory, it was John Layfield. And oh, by the way, John Bradshaw Layfield is going to be returning to Monday Night Raw on Raw Monday night. Not sure what his role will be, but he's going to be there. So it'll be interesting to see JBL back in WWE next Monday night in his home state of Texas, in Dallas. And then, of course, it was John Layfield he was the one who cost Joe Hendry the title in last October at Bound for Glory. Again, this is another gut and heart situation. The gut tells me Nemeth finds a way yet again. Of course, Nick Nemeth's brother, Ryan Nemeth, he could end up getting involved in this match. Of course, we have one major wild card in this. Frankie Kazarian. He holds the call your shot trophy. That call your shot gauntlet trophy that he won on that very same night at Bound for Glory. I'm worried that he's going to have a say in this. But the old expression, you've heard it, the third time is the charm. I'm going to listen to my heart on this one. And if I'm wrong, well then I will basically have to give it up. The winner, and I believe in him. Michael Bullock believes in him. So many others believe in him. I think this has to be the night where it finally happens. I think he's chased long enough, and I think he finishes his story this Sunday night at Genesis. I'm calling it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, whatever. The winner and new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Joe Hendry. That's it. So that's it. That will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. As always, we will be, and of course, because we don't do any of that other stuff anymore, we will not be back with you again until Friday night this Friday night, 11 p.m., immediately following Friday Night SmackDown, TXN Sports World NFL Friday, the divisional playoffs. The matchups are all set. The Houston Texans squaring off against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Washington Commanders squaring off against the Detroit Lions. The Los Angeles Rams will square off against the Philadelphia Eagles. And in the main event of divisional playoff weekend, and rightfully so, one of the most anticipated divisional playoff matchups in recent memory, the Baltimore Ravens squaring off against my Buffalo Bills at Highmark Stadium in Buffalo. We will preview all 4 of those games on Friday night. And in addition to that, we will also preview the college football playoff national championship game that goes down 1 week from tonight at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. My team, the number 7 seed, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, squaring off against the number 8 seed, the Ohio State Buckeyes. We'll get into all that on Friday night. And then Saturday night, around the 10 or 10:30 threshold on Saturday night, MF will have it, Brace Fan 95, the Cerebral Smack Talk, NXT, and Friday Night SmackDown. And then 1 week from tonight, we come right back here. We will recap. Well, of course, we'll have our Raw review. Special Tony's Take. I will have the results of the Genesis pay-per-view. And time permitting, we might also have some possible bonus commentary from the national championship game between Ohio State and Notre Dame. So we'll get into all of that next week. That'll be on Monday night, and we'll go from there. So that's it. So until Friday night, for the divisional playoff edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, this is Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and of course, always and forever in spirit, our first lady of Talking Wrestling TXN, the one and only Twisted Angel Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune Forest style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed week. And until Friday night for the divisional playoff edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you, even beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.